2 right after. All right, come on. See if I got my precepts. All right. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we're going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors
to our elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect, the 1/3.
Yep. And to all you scattered across the 4 corners of the earth that may look like the heathen, but your seed line stems back to Jacob. To you we say shalom.
Yep. This is Brother Barak speaking. I'm over here.
Yo, what's up?
And we're gonna be doing it in the spirit. So
Side
let's get
camp.
started, man.
Yep. So this is the first precept in the book of Ecclesiasticus 2:1. My son, if thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So when you come into this ministry and when you come into the faith and you really start taking it seriously and you have to put off the old man, you're gonna have temptation coming at you at all angles, man. You're gonna be catching some sort of disruption, from Satan, you know. And we battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers. So we're gonna have Satan trying to vex us in all sorts of ways, man. And it's very important to realize that anywhere you go, man. That's why every day you gotta wake up and you gotta pray. You know, you gotta pray in the spirit. You gotta pray that your adversary doesn't attack you. You gotta pray that you're safe when you're traveling. Pray for traveling mercies. But that's very important.
That's why. Can I say something though?
Yeah, bring it out louder though.
That's why it's important. You have the right people around you. You know, the right friends around you. Because Scripture talks about iron sharpen iron, but you have to have friends for adversity.
Yeah.
Now, I got the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17, I believe. It says, "A friend loveth at all times; a brother is born for adversity."
You gotta speak a little louder, brother.
Yeah, a friend.
Come in the frame.
Yeah, so
Come in the frame. Come on this side.
this is the book of Proverbs, right? I don't know if the camera. I'm gonna just say it. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So, you know, you have people that that may be your friend, but how do I say it? Like if they're your what's the word? A friend might like you for your money.
Only with your money.
A friend might like you for you're a woman that you have. But at the end of the day, you know, like when shit really hits the fan, Jacob's trouble happens. You know, this MOTB starts getting implemented. What's gonna go down? Who's gonna be really there for you?
And you gotta ask yourself that right now, because in these times of temptation, you're gonna see who's really carnal and who's really of the spirit, who's really supposed to be there and who's not.
Yeah. So
it's very important to start, preparing now in these times to come, because Jacob's trouble is right on its way.
Yep.
Right on its way, man.
Yeah.
You're seeing these riots happening. You're seeing Iran just got nuked by Israel.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere you go, there's some sort of like disruption going around.
Yeah.
Some sort of violence. It's not gonna get any better.
It's gonna be way worse. It's gonna be way worse, man.
The place you once knew ain't it anymore. And that goes to Job 9:24.
Yeah, you're gonna bring that.
Bring that out right now.
Yeah.
And I got a precept to back you up right now. Actually, when you're getting that, I'm gonna bring this out. And this is talking about everywhere you go, man. Even with these so-called friends, these people in your family, man. You ain't just dealing with just flesh, man. Flesh and blood anymore, man. You're dealing with spirits.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people that have demons on them, man. Okay?
I'm gonna bring out Job 9:24. Okay. So this is the book of Job 9:24, and it says, "The earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?"
So who is that talking about? That's talking about Esau, Edom.
Esau, the so-called white man.
You know?
Not all white people, but many stem from Esau.
Stem from Esau, Edom. You
Yep.
know, Amalek, the so-called Ish people living there right now.
Yep.
They're not the true chosen people of Yasharallah. Okay? They're not. Okay? The true people are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and those scattered abroad.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah,
the Lord ain't dealing with Esau and Edom.
You got to remember, I believe it's Hosea 1:10.
Hosea 1:10.
Or 4:10. It talks about it talks about
He will scatter those as numerous as the sand of the sea. And
Yeah.
we'll bring that out after, but I have a precept to back this up
Yep.
right now, to back up the brother. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness in this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So, you see, this government, okay, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, you know, and so on and so forth. There's even people that are deeper than that. They're the ones controlling this earth right now. It's been given into the hands of the wicked. And we're battling not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers. So you're gonna have people that they're spiritual, man. Very spiritual. They're intricating the next attack. That's why you see this shit going on in Israel right now with the bombing. Israel bombing Iran. That's why you see these riots. Because they're agent provocateurs. We're wrestling against spirits, against principalities and rulers. They're paying agent provocateurs right now to go and to enhance the violence going on right now in these protests.
You got guys like George Soros, these agents. They're paying people to go out on the streets.
Paying people $200. We just saw it the other day.
Yeah.
He was paying $200 a day, and they had a pallet full of bricks for people to throw and just cause disruption. They say cause as much violence as possible. And that really goes back to Esau being the master of the sword. I don't know if you want to bring that out, brother. I could try to find it.
Yeah, I believe that's in the book of Genesis.
I'll bring it out right now.
Yeah.
But he's a master of the sword. He's manipulated, and that doesn't just go actual sword itself, but technology. Okay, he's mastered technology. He's mastered AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, and he thinks and breeds violence and weapons of mass destruction. Okay, that's what his gift was. That's his blessing. And this is. Let me see.
Yeah, you got that?
Yeah. All right. And thy sword thou shalt live, right? That's how sure.
Yeah.
So Genesis 27:40, it says, "And by sword shalt thou live, and shalt thou serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck." So it says right here that by the sword he shall live. And that's why you see, listen, this is why everything he's fucking done, he's used his sword and his violence to cause some sort of disruption.
Everything this man does, he fucking ruins, man.
Everything he ruins, everything he touches is from bloodshed.
You know, and the thing about Esau, man, he's a many man crept in unawares. Let's bring that out.
And I got one right now before you.
Yeah.
But this continues to say in Genesis 27:41, "And Esau hated Jacob because of his blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob." So he's envious of us, man, in all ways and fashions, man. That's why he wants to be above us. That's why you see in the NBA, the NFL, it's all Jakes. It's all Jakes.
Yep.
All right, they got the salt. You don't see no Edomites at top level athletes nowhere. You know, they're all Jakes, and you might think that they're, you know, a so-called Edomite because they look white, but they're actually Jakes, man, because we got salt. We're not able, you know, regular Edomites ain't able to do things that are peculiar like Jake is.
No,
but he
steals.
controls everything from the sports
This man
to
just
the
steals
governments
everything, man.
to the land.
Yeah.
He'll come in, he'll steal your land, and then he'll say, "Oh, sorry, brother, you could have this corner over here."
Yeah.
That's how he operates. He's a master of the sword, master of manipulation, man. This guy, he's a piece of shit. And bring that out, man.
Yeah. So let's see. 1 second.
Job, Jude 1 and 4.
Okay, so
And bring
Jude 1 and
Jude
4.
1 and 4 through 6.
Yeah, Jude 1 and
And bring it
4.
out.
For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of Yahweh Shem Yahushai into lasciviousness, and denying the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
So what do you see? You see that they open up these Christian mega churches, okay? These Christian mega churches. They try to open up, you know, false ministries and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they pervert the true gospel.
Yeah.
Okay, these are many crept unawares, man.
Because this man comes out of nowhere and just destroys everything.
He destroys
like
everything.
he did to the Native Americans.
He comes in out of nowhere,
steals everything, takes their land,
and then now he wants to be your friend.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But you see it on all forms and levels, man.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So you want to?
It's a never-ending cycle. Now you got anything?
Yeah. Let's see.
Let me find something. I think I got something.
Yeah, man. But this devil Esau just. I mean, this man's literally gotta go. That's a spear right there. I just saw some from yesterday. What's it called? You know, this devil. He comes out of nowhere. He steals things. He doesn't invent things. If you actually look in the history of things, it's all Jake inventing things.
Jake invents everything.
Yeah.
Everything. The light bulb. Okay. All these inventions that we use today. It was Jake. It wasn't Esau. You know, and you see like.
Oh yeah, but like potato chips, you know,
potato
chips,
of food.
It's all Jake, man. Jake was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So you're gonna have Jakes that look like Chinese, Jake that look like, you know, how you say, you know,
Jakes that look like us,
Irish.
You know, Jakes that look like us, because you know the carnal man wouldn't understand. These so-called Yah Israelites wouldn't be able to understand because they think it's a Negro only. You know, are the only Israelites. They follow that the Bantu are the only Israelites, which Bantus are Israelites. Don't get me wrong, Bantus are Israelites, but that doesn't consist for all those scattered abroad. Jake was everywhere.
Yeah.
Jake was everywhere, so he planted a seed even in nations where there's full of Edomites.
You even look at countries like Vietnam, you know, during the war and stuff. You know, you got a lot of Jake and military men. You know, they went out. And they just kind of like just planted their seed amongst their women, and then you start getting children that look like, you know, they don't look like your average Jake, but they go back to that seed line, you know.
And that's why you got to judge according to the spirit.
You can't judge by outward appearance anymore. You know,
yes.
You can, and these are indicators, but that's not everything.
But then even a so-called, you know, a person that's black could be a Hamite.
It could be a chocolate-covered Edomite.
Or a chocolate-covered Edomite.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen those before. I was speaking to a guy, and he was talking to me, you know, and you know, he had Afro characteristics and everything. And I said, where's your father from? And he's like, my father's a white French man, you know. He could have been a Jake, but that just goes to show you that you don't know. That's why it's important to judge not according to appearance. It says that in 1 Samuel. You want to bring that out?
Yep. So 1 Samuel.
Actually, no. John, bring out John 9:24, and then I'm gonna find the Samuel. Samuel 16:7. I got it right here, but I want you to find it.
So you're talking John?
John 7:24. Okay. And then right after, bring out Samuel 16:7.
So 1 John?
1 John 7:24. Done.
I'm not seeing 7.
All right, I got it. All right. This is John 7:24. Judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
Yeah.
So that judge not according to an appearance. If you see somebody, you know, that looks like a so-called white man or a so-called Asian man, a Chinese man, a Japanese man.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, this is about seed line of their fathers.
But you will know according to righteous judgment who is it really an Edomite.
And that's a spirit, man, because I just opened up the book of.
Speak a little louder.
Yeah,
brother.
let me hold on 1 second. Let me just read this. Yeah, so that's a spirit because you just said, you know, righteous judgment, and
yeah.
It's the book of Ezekiel 11:16.
A little louder.
And verse 4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So yeah, man, at the end of the day, you got that MOTB, and you also got this, this what's it called? The mark of the righteous,
The elect is gonna be sealed.
And you got to remember that, there's a lot of guys, man. They're preaching the false MOTB.
They're breaking it down, saying it's the name JC. They're breaking it down, saying it's a white woman. They're saying it's not keeping all the laws.
Like, what the fuck?
What
man?
the fuck are you talking about? There's 613 total laws. We're not able to keep everything, but if there's some that are plain out, put in stone. You gotta keep them to the best of your ability. We're supposed to rehearse the righteous acts while we're here, but the point is that what it really comes down to, man, is that seal. Are you gonna be sealed with the elect, or are you gonna take the mark and get utterly destroyed? And that's where, coming back to what we're saying, Esau Edom is gonna try any single way to manipulate you to take that fucking mark. Okay? Anyway, this is what you're seeing right now, with this violence and shit, with what's going on with these protests, because they want to bring out martial law. Okay? Martial law, so then they could start implementing new things. And then next thing you know, they're going to say it's crazy. We're not able to identify people now. These people that are causing violence, we need to be able to put a mark on them. Okay?
Yeah.
You're going to see it coming in all forms and angles. Not only that, you're going to see people that are so handicapped, got cancer and shit. Okay? And then they're going to start bringing that out like it's some marvelous miracle that was not performed by, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Ultimately was performed by the devil.
Because then the scriptures say how he's gonna perform many deceitful things during those times.
And that's what the mark is, the charagma, which is an indentation in and a cutting. That's what charagma stands for, in the hand or in the forehead.
Yep.
Okay, we could bring that out in the Strongs right now, but it all ties back to why Esau Edom needs to be utterly fucking destroyed, man. This piece of shit man.
Because and it's crazy. We have to actually we bring it out to people, but some people, we had some men in the past saying, the mark of the beast is a spiritual mark, and obviously it's spiritual, but it's physical.
You have to have a spirit of discernment through the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua to be able to discern not to take it. Of course, the Lord has to be dealing with you not to take it, but it's physical.
Yeah.
It isn't not keeping the law. How can you pay with the name JC? Honestly, brother, how can you pay? Go to the store. Do you have the name JC? But you have the laws in order to buy or sell. And let's bring out the charagma. Actually, I'm gonna bring it out in the BLB. If I have, Lord willing, I get service. So point of the matter is, and we were saying before, you got to judge not according to just the appearance of people, because there may be people that are jakes that need to hear this message, but they may look like a so-called white person. But you will know that if somebody's truly an Edomite. Why? Because through their spirit, they're so weapon happy. They're just violent.
Yeah.
They just want they speak. You'll know when you see them.
And definitely from you can tell from their prideful countenance.
They're prideful.
Yeah.
They're prideful as can be.
This devil walks around with his chest puffed up.
But when we do it, they're calling the police on us.
Like this man thinks he can be anybody's ass.
Yeah. But then when he sees a so-called Judah man walking by, he quivers and he runs away like a bitch. But he be picking on people, older people and shit like that. That's how Esau is. A fucking bully. He's a bully.
He's a fucking coward, man.
He's a bully.
And he does things. He'll do. He weaponizes his sword. So this man literally has satellites that can shoot laser beams and fucking burn things. That's how advanced this man is. And ultimately that's why he's got to go.
He got to go.
Yeah.
But what's gonna happen is that prophecies have to come to pass in order for Yahweh Yahushua to come back and to restore this place, in a righteous and divine manner.
And you got this devil. He also be they be doing those sacrifices. You know, those human sacrifices.
You know, hunting,
like,
the hunting.
When back like when it talks about in the book of what's it called, in the book of First Kings, you know, it talks about how, you know, they were sacrificing unto, you know, Baal, you know, these pagan pagan idols, you know, and they're doing the same thing now. They're still doing it every day, and they're doing it to what? To our people, you know, Israelite children,
slaves.
You know, because you got to remember, Planned Parenthood, most of the aborted children are so-called Israelite children.
Yeah,
know?
The majority of them are Israelite children.
You know, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American children.
Native Americans.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? You fall for it. You fall for it. You know? The Eve woman, man, she works hand in hand with Esau, man. With the child support.
Oh, yeah, and
the child support. We were talking to a woman the other day, and we were just asking her some questions and stuff, and she says if any woman, this is what she said, so we don't know if this is exactly true, but she said that in order for a woman to get any sort of medical support from the government, or so anything, even in the slightest bit, she has to put her husband on child, or the man that got her pregnant on child support. You even see it to where sometimes a man will raise, you know, a woman's child that she had with another man, and then they break off, and then she charges him for child support.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You got Eve. She'll get with a famous actor, celebrity, athlete. And then they might not even be the father of their kid, but they start claiming that.
They start bearing false witness. They start speaking lies. That's the Eve woman for you, though.
Because I think, I don't know if it was Gabar War, or from the Rochester camp, I believe. He said like the first. I think someone said. Correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the first CIA agents or FBI agents or something like that was like a woman.
Yeah.
I think it was an Israelite woman.
Yeah. And you're gonna see, man, when these times start to come even more, Jacob's Trouble starts even progressing more and more. You're gonna see that these so-called agent provocateurs, these females, man, these harlots, they're gonna try to come and distract you, and they're gonna try to manipulate you and take you off this track, man. You know, they're harlots.
Yep.
They're harlots. But
you cannot be deceived, man.
You cannot be deceived.
No.
Anybody that takes that mark is gonna be fucking destroyed, man.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what Esau Edom. He wants you to be in a chokehold. But he was able to grab you before when we were in the slave labor.
The thing is, once you start getting your powers back, and that goes into the new covenant too. When we get those new spiritual bodies.
But we'll talk about that. Let's not bounce around.
But I was gonna say,
yeah.
You know, once we start getting our power back, this man gets so jealous.
He gets jealous. Jealous. But he had us in a fucking chokehold even deeper before, and he still does now. Don't get me. He still does now. But back then, and he wants us to be, you know, tracked, watched. You take that mark, you're gonna be tracked and watched all the time. You're not gonna be able to go and do things on your own in silence. You can't be low key anymore. You're gonna be literally monitored like a system. And they think you're going off. Okay, well we're gonna shut your system off.
The most important thing is you do not take that mark.
Yeah.
Okay, you take that mark, you're done. All right, let's bring this out. You got something?
Yeah, this is the book of Revelation. And I'm reading from the NIV. And the smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. There will be no rest day or night for those who worship the beast and its image, or for anyone that receives the mark of its name. Yep. So you're gonna have everlasting torment.
And you gotta remember too, you know, Esau is gonna target the rich, the poor,
everybody, small, the great.
And you know, he's gonna have in the Neuralink where you can get, you know, he's gonna make it seem like you got all this cool shit, download powers into your brain.
Yeah.
You know, this man is a fucking deceitful liar.
Even to the point where he's gonna be able to get and start making memes and start making shit look comfortable, where just saying shit like, oh, now you took the mark and you're able to talk to the shorties or the huzz or whatever the fuck they say. And these stupid little new phrases that they come up with that everybody just starts hopping on that wave. They're gonna tie that in. And Esau is a master with the sword. He knows exactly how to target you everywhere, any place.
And the scripture saying, you know, ye are forgers of lies. You know, this man
The fucking liar.
just makes shit up.
He's a liar. He
and,
makes
and
shit
he
up.
does
He's a
it with a
bullshit
straight face.
With a straight face like a liar. But if you have discernment, you could truly see, you know, if that's an Edomite, you're never supposed to trust him. No matter how nice and how he seems, you know, you never trust that motherfucker no matter what.
Because what this man will do is he'll make you feel bad for him at first.
Yes.
And he'll come along and try to stab you in the fucking back.
We knew a guy from you know, years ago. He came in, he started making himself seem like he had a tough ass life, like, you know, he had it hard. And this fucking piece of shit, man, he's a piece of shit. Shalak Rayam and that guy. But anyways, the guy was a fucking liar. And he started to come in, and he was a Edomite all the way through, man. Coming in and trying to teach our people, you know, his doctrines.
Completely going on.
Trying to go get a bunch of wives now that he hears that Israelites can have a bunch of wives, even though he's not an Israelite.
He's a fucking Edomite.
He's an Edomite. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get a bunch of Israelite women. My kids are gonna be such jakes. This guy's a liar. He's a fucking liar, and he knows that we're the true chosen people, man. And he hates that shit because it's not given to him. It's not his blessing. That's why he wants to take it from us. He always trying to take shit from us.
Yeah.
You know? But that's the thing. That's why he's going to implement that mark so that he can have us in control. Because he wants us to be destroyed.
Because the one thing Esau hasn't really controlled yet is, you know, he's controlled most things, but he wants to get into people's brains. You know?
That's the one thing. A free mind.
Yeah.
Free thinking. The ability to discern your own thoughts. If you take that mark, you're not going to be able to discern. You're not going to have like that same conscience, that same spirit. You're going to be all fucked up and manipulated. And you know, you're going to get sick right after that. They're going to say, this is life-changing. This can change everything. And you can get muscles. You can cure your seed.
It's gonna make you grow. It can get you
grow.
taller.
If you're only 5
if you're
feet,
paralyzed, you're gonna be able to fucking move like Usain Bolt.
You don't think the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai in the kingdom can make you 8 feet tall if he wanted to? Man, right now we're living in wretched bodies, or we're living in the flesh, man. You know, it's tough for a lot of us, man. For some more than others, but we're still living in the flesh, man. We got these fucking stupid fucking thoughts that we don't even want to think of. We're getting sick. This air is shit. This air is shit. The food is shit. Okay? When we get into the kingdom, it's gonna all be perfect, man. Everlasting life. But Esau doesn't want that, man. He doesn't want you to have everlasting life. He wants you to be destroyed.
Because we're gonna take his woman up too.
Yeah, we're gonna take his woman up.
You don't want that.
Shit,
and you see Esau, like he desires control. So like this man is doing everything in his power to get that last word.
He always wants the last say. He always wants the last say, man. And even if he knows he's wrong, he'll always want to come back and make himself seem right.
Let Esau win these carnal battles, you know. Yeah. These are very foolish things.
Let him win. Let him win. Don't be walking around and getting yourself meddled in arguments with him. You know, if he tries to debate with you or provoke you, walk the other way.
Yeah.
Walk the other way. You don't need to. You don't need to, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because ultimately, what is he gonna try to do? You lay a hand. He lays a hand on you. You lay a hand on him. Knock his ass out. He's gonna call the police, or he's gonna go and get his gun, because that's how he operates, man. He always wants the last say. He always wants to say, "Oh, I'm fucking on his high horse, man." He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, but I'm gonna bring out. I was gonna bring out the charagma.
You bring out the "Ye are chosen people."
We're gonna bring that out after, but I'm gonna go into the mark and what the mark stands for, and worship the beast and its image and its whoever sees the mark. So let's see.
You're gonna bring that out?
I'm gonna bring it out in the Strongs. Give me a second.
Strong's G 5480 Charagma. Charagma.
So charagma, okay? And that means a stamp, an imprinted mark, okay? A mark stamped on the forehead or on the right hand as a badge of followers of the Antichrist, the mark branded upon horses, okay, of idolatrous images, okay? So, okay, and then, yeah, so it's a mark. It's an indentation. They cut in.
It's an incision, man.
Incision.
It's not a fucking going to the Christian church and not keeping the Sabbath.
That's ridiculous. That's, you know how many times, brothers, man, they can't keep the Sabbath? You miss one Sabbath.
What are you doing?
You can't pay for stuff with the Sabbath. Yeah, these people, man.
Or it'll be the Sabbath and you know at a and you know you're 5 minutes late or they want to like.
What are you
wanna
doing,
meet up with
bro?
them, you know,
Fucking ridiculous. You're not gonna be able to buy or sell with the Sabbath. Does that make any sense? But the RFID microchip, that you have to, you know, it's gonna track you. Just like you have a wallet, just like you have your Apple Phone Pay, the credit card. That's leading into the mark. You're gonna see in most places they don't even accept cash anymore.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Because this man made something called the Internet of Things, you know. So he wants every single thing to be kind of controlled by like a signal, right? So even those people that took that jump shot back in you know a couple of years ago, if you know what I'm talking about, apparently they're actually having IP addresses now coming out from them, so like signals, cause like you know, so you can tell Esau's trying to get control of everybody.
You're a walking
You know,
barcode.
a fucking IP address.
You're an IP address.
A guy went on his phone, went in developer mode, and you can probably test this out. And literally, like in an airplane or something like that, something crazy, like a bunch of IP addresses start coming. Yeah.
But and we're not saying that the mark is, you know, the jump shot. We ain't saying that. You know, for those of you that might have taken it unknowingly, you know, the mark is the RFID microchip. And Catherine Albright, who was one of the leading you know, doctors in speaking against it, but they were even talking about this back then. 2005, 2006, almost 20 years ago, man. They were trying to implement this in food, okay, in a banana, where like if you throw a banana, the outside banana peel recognized that was you that bought it through your credit card, and then they could charge you for littering. That just shows you that's totally out of order, man. Yeah. Total control. That's ridiculous, man. Okay, this is Esau. This is Esau. This is how he acts. You know? What you got?
Let me see.
Cause you had something before you wanted to bring out.
Yeah, that was. I believe it was Zechariah 14:12 or 14:2, but it talks about. I don't know if we want to go into the judgment of America.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
But basically, man, this place is going to be destroyed via nuclear fire.
ICBM nuclear missiles.
And the scriptures talk about a flaming sword. I believe.
Flaming arrows.
A flaming arrow, right? That's the flaming arrow that travels throughout the continents, right? What is that? It's not a literal arrow. You shoot an arrow, it's gonna end up.
A regular arrow is gonna just plop on the floor and that's it. But flaming arrows, that's a nuke.
It's a nuke, man.
That back then they were speaking about that. They didn't understand exactly what it was back then, so they were speaking about it. You know, flaming arrows. Okay, and this place is gonna get destroyed by that, man.
Yeah.
But to be restored, you know. Because this place is just defiled. The bread defiled among the heathens,
Gentiles, yeah.
among the Gentiles. It's defiled, man.
You know, the food is bad. This food, you got pesticides, genetically modified. It fucks up, you know, the DNA, your DNA, man. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, you get even out the land. They not only do they spray, like you said, with pesticides and shit, but the land, they don't even give it a proper land Sabbath. I mean, we were seeing, brother, years ago, we're in this area where it's known agricultural. There's Jakes everywhere where we're at, you know.
Yeah, you had Jake walking by.
Jake walking by everywhere. But it's an agricultural hub. And we're in a place right now where this is the number one, or it used to be the number one producer of tomatoes for all of winter for the whole country of the United States, Babylon. Okay? And these farms, we're seeing, they used to be full of tomatoes. Now, they're absolutely decimated, man.
And tell them who made these farms. Who were the original workers?
Jake.
Yeah.
And Jake, but guess what? That's a chime right there. That's good. They know, man. And Jake came here, okay? The so-called Levites, because there's a lot of Levites where we're at right now, and Issacharites, and you know other tribes as well. But they came here, and Esau took advantage of them. He knew, and guess what he did? He bought every single fucking chunk of land in this place. Everything he wiped out. He didn't even give a crumb.
This man doesn't even give a fucking
A crumb. For if Jake wanted to say, you know, let's get together as families and keep building. Dude, he don't care. He knows that he doesn't want anybody to get any inch. That's how mischievous he is. But point of the matter is, this place, you know, used to be rich, man. It still is. It used to be rich in agriculture. Perfect land. The Native Americans were on this soil. This is we're in a Seminole. Seminole Indians, right, brother?
Yeah.
The so-called
Reubenites.
Reubenites were here, man. In the Everglades, the swamp. You know, this is a perfect land. They kicked them out. They gave them the shit land. They came in here. They made farms and shit. Okay. They made these plants. They slaved them. They kept them in trucks. They paid them under wages. It took years before they got, you know, somewhat proper care. I mean, it's not even, you know, but that's just how they are. And they don't even give the land a proper Sabbath. That's why the land now looks chipped, man. It's just
dry.
nothing. Dry.
They got plastic.
Not no grass, plastic everywhere.
Like what?
You know, and
the
we're
water,
eating that shit.
The
water is shit.
The salt got plastic.
They're spraying. We come by. They're spraying.
They got
chemicals.
planes in the air.
Damn, bro. This is why this place needs to get restored. Okay, we're getting fucking sick every fucking week.
Yeah.
We go out and breathe the air, damn it, and we're fucking sick. This place is fucked up, man. This place is wicked.
Shalak in this place, man.
This place is wicked. But that goes back to what we said. The earth has been given into the hands of the wicked.
Yeah.
Okay? Esau, Edom.
Yeah.
Okay? It all ties in. Let me see. I think I had something. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Oh yeah. And let's see.
Hopefully, I should have enough battery, right? Does it show? Did you see it?
9%.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happens when it's done? It shuts off, or
it might cut out.
he got a. We had the phone fully charged. It's the
Yeah.
battery
It's
issue. that we
Esau,
got with the
man.
phone, man. Esau, man, he's trying to fuck us up. We're gonna keep pushing till the end.
Yes.
And I got this verse right now. Proverbs 24:19. Fret not thyself because of an evil man, neither be thou envious at the wicked. So you see, Jake, that they got the bag, they got the money that was given to them. They had to do something in order to get that. That was given to them because of Esau, Edom. Gave them that sort of those sort of riches and shit like that.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen overnight. But the point is, don't be envious, man, because if you stay in this ministry and you keep pushing to the very end, you're gonna be given riches that you wouldn't even imagine here, man. Unfathomable.
The Lord has a lot in store for us.
What does it say? In my Father's house, I prepared many mansions. Let's bring that out. Many mansions. Let's see. Yeah, you
Bring it out loud. I'll bring it out loud.
I'm gonna bring it out. Give it to you.
All right.
Because we might think, oh man, we having it hard out here. We gotta pay our bills. Hold on a second. We gotta pay our bills. Okay, shit's tough. We're going paycheck to paycheck. Okay, I'm not making enough money at my job. That shit's only temporary. You know.
So I'm gonna bring out. This is the book of John 14:2. It says, "In my Father's house, here are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you."
He's preparing mansions that you couldn't even imagine, man. You're gonna have a mansion upon a mansion upon a mansion. You think you see these mansions at the beach? They look huge.
Nah, man.
You're gonna have something 100 times that.
And you're gonna have a chariot. You're gonna have a chariot too. We're gonna be in our new bodies. The scriptures talk about how we're gonna be in a twinkling of an eye. We're gonna be changed.
It's gonna.
The Lord's gonna give us new bodies, man.
It's gonna be amazing, man. And we're gonna be given new bodies. We're gonna be strong as ever. Okay. We're gonna be 8 feet tall with muscles and everything, man. And then that's the spirit right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a testimony right there, man. Kala lo Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai,
Kala
man.
Yahweh
Bashim
Bashim Yahweh
Rakah
Shai.
Kadash, man. That's beautiful, man. You know, that's beautiful. But yeah, that we you don't want to live here forever, man.
Yeah, I mean, just the presence, the spirit of so many dead bodies of, you know, so-called Israelites, you know, the Israelites, you know, especially Gad, Reuben, you know, Judah, Levi, on you know, where we're at right now, you know, their spirits are still.
You feel it.
You just feel something in the air, like this place is not fucking right. You know, especially now, especially when you wake up to this truth and you realize, like, and the fact that people are fucking still out here fluoridated, still out here just
Happy, going around,
Man.
jumping around.
And what does the scripture say? It talks about
The laugh, who could laugh now?
yeah, but I was talking about it's better to sit with the lowly and humble, roughly paraphrasing here,
Yeah.
than to, I believe, like sit at a table with proud, right?
I got it.
Because at the end of the day, man, you know, the lowly and humble, a lot of them, they know what's up, you know, but
They're humble.
but the proud men, you know, they don't even have a clue what's about to happen, you know. And that's the thing, you know, we gotta just stop hanging out with these fucking people.
Don't be around them.
Don't be around them, man.
How can righteousness fellowship with wickedness? You got your so-called cousin, your fucking cousin who wants to just smoke weed all day, smoke blunts and drink Hennessy, okay? Or fucking just get drunk all day.
Yeah.
And he wants to bring you into his folly. That guy's gonna get fucking destroyed,
Yeah,
man. And you don't want to be caught up with that shit, man.
No.
Okay? You've seen it time and time again, man. These judgment videos and shit. It's fucking
The Lord can
ridiculous.
take you out. I think someone we knew. I think a couple people we know, especially these women, they're just getting taken out. The Lord just destroying them.
Destroying them, man. You know, because they're proud. They're going. They're living in sin. They're living in folly. They're embracing it.
They're doing, you know,
Okay.
doing all sorts of wickedness, man.
You have to fucking hate living here, man. Okay. There's nothing good about this place, man.
The scripture says, you know, with great wisdom comes great much sorrow, right? So we're gonna be fucking. If you really know this truth, you're gonna be fucking pissed.
You're gonna be
You're
pissed.
hate this place.
Because you know you're under an illusion. You're in a prison. You know, we're prisoners of hope.
This is a fucking miserable ass place,
know?
man.
But what does it say? What you was just saying? When you first come in, you're zealous, you're excited, you find out you're an Israelite, but then you eat the honey, it's sweet, but then it becomes bitter, it hurts your stomach, because then you get to see that it's this flesh is vexing, man. This flesh is vexing, okay? But one day closer for being with our Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Have an everlasting life, okay? Okay? Being able to enjoy the heavenly riches, not these earthly riches where moths thou not corrupt, okay? And thieves come in and break in and steal.
Thieves steal, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got some of these jakes too, man, bugging the fuck out, trying to build up land in America.
Yeah, this land initiative, you got IUIC.
Let's all bring our
Dude.
money and make some
Let's
land.
bring in money and let's make a big piece of land and all live together in harmony. That's not able to happen
Why
here.
the fuck would you build on this man's land?
That's not
He's just
able to
gonna
happen here.
It's just gonna get destroyed, bro.
It's gonna get destroyed. It's gonna get nuked.
Yeah,
It's gonna
man.
get utterly destroyed, man. Okay, I'm gonna bring out. Let's see. This is from the.
We're still rolling.
We're still rolling.
Okay.
This is Romans 12 and 16. From the NLT. Live in harmony with each other. Don't be too proud or enjoy the company of ordinary people, and don't think you know it all.
Yeah.
So
And what does this man do? He thinks he fucking knows
he
everything.
wants to be a teacher, a scholar, a professor. Oh, I got
Fucking
Harvard. I got Harvard degree in studying religion. That don't mean you know everything, bro. The Lord can give you the spirit of wisdom and understanding, man. Okay? It's fucking prideful, man. But this is exactly why, man. We just gotta be delivered out of this place.
Lord's
Everything is defiled. The food,
Yeah.
the land, everything. Okay?
The Lord's the one that does all things, man.
Yeah.
He can put that spirit of knowledge in you. He's the one that makes people wise, you know?
You gotta keep. I got a precept, man. I gotta bring this out.
Yeah.
Okay. And the battery is gonna end off soon, so we're gonna bring out a couple of precepts and wrap it up.
Okay.
But I'm gonna bring that stuff from the KJV. This is Matthew 24:13. Okay. But he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. Okay. You gotta run to the end of the race, man. The race has not been finished yet. Don't think because you just got here, you're good to go. That's like these so-called, Christians, man. They say, I've been saved by grace, so I can go and sin and live in folly. It don't work like that, man. Okay? He that endures until the end, until the very last moment, the same shall be saved, man.
Yep.
Okay? I got one more precept to bring out. It's endure as a soldier. Okay. This is the book of 2 Timothy 2 and 3. Now, therefore, endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach, man. So we're soldiers, man. Okay, we're soldiers going into the battlefield. Okay? Going out into this wretched land, this present temporal evil world. So put on your armor, man. Okay, pray every day. Get ready to fight, man, in the spirit.
Yeah.
Go out and do the work and keep pushing, man. And spreading the gospel to those that need to hear it, man. Those ears that need to hear, ears that hear and the eyes to see.
Yeah.
Okay, be a good soldier. Keep pushing, man. You got this. And if you do that, the Lord has your back, no matter what. Okay, so we want to wrap up this lesson.
We're gonna end off
Come
by
to the
saying,
frame. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna end off by saying, Kal halal,
Yahweh,
Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakodash.
All right, double honors to our elders and apostles like Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well. Peace and salutations unto the Lord's elect and to all those scattered across the four corners of the earth. Okay, the 12 tribes of Yasharallah, and those that look like the heathen, but their seed line actually stems back to Abraham, to Jacob. To you we say Shalom. Okay, and Abad Gabal.
Babal.
Shalom.